Imagine a dusty road winding through barren hills somewhere between Jerusalem and Jericho. The sun blazes in the sky, heating up the earth below. On this dangerous path, known for its lurking bandits, a lone traveler makes his way. This isn't just any story. This is one of the most powerful lessons on love and humanity you'll ever hear. Get ready for the compassion of the Good Samaritan, a story of true love. In those days, individuals traveling between Jerusalem and Jericho often did so in groups or with guards. But our traveler, who remains unnamed in this story, was walking alone. Perhaps he had to depart suddenly. Perhaps he'd underestimated the risks. Whatever the case, fate struck quickly. From behind the rocks, robbers appeared. Their attack was swift and brutal, leaving the man beaten, stripped of his clothing, and left for dead on the side of the road. Now, imagine lying there. Every limb feels heavy. Every breath takes more effort. Your vision blurs from pain and exhaustion. Time becomes irrelevant. For this man, every moment was a question of survival. Enter the first passerby, a priest. Picture his fine robes fluttering as he navigates the rugged terrain. He approaches and sees the half-dead man sprawled across the dirt. The priest hesitates. Surely, he thinks, helping this man might defile him ceremonially. And so, even though this priest carried out sacred duties in the temple, he crosses to the other side of the road and walks on. Next comes a Levite, a man of religious significance, responsible for assisting in temple functions. Surely we might think this man would have compassion. Yet he too casts a glance toward the wounded man and quickly averts his gaze. Perhaps he is afraid of bandits still lurking, or maybe he is rushing to his duties. Whatever his reasoning, he passes by. So there lay the wounded man in the scorching heat, as hope faded moment by moment. But then came another man, a Samaritan, a twist in the tale. At that time, Samaritans were despised by the Jewish people. They were outcasts, looked down upon with disdain and mistrust. Yet, as this Samaritan sees the injured man, something unexpected happens. He doesn't hesitate. He doesn't cross over to the other side of the road. Instead, he comes closer. He kneels beside the man, his own clothing quickly becoming stained with dirt and blood as he inspects the wounds. He pulls out oil and wine, valuable and scarce supplies for a traveler, and begins to treat the injuries. Binding up the wounds with care, the Samaritan overlooks racial and cultural boundaries. He sees only a fellow human in need. But he doesn't stop there. The Samaritan lifts the wounded man onto his own donkey, an uncomfortable arrangement for himself now that he must walk the rest of the journey on foot. Together, they travel until they find an inn. Surely the Samaritan might have thought, "I've done enough." But instead, he goes further, paying the innkeeper 2 denarii, a significant amount of money, and asking him to care for the man. He promises to reimburse any extra expenses upon his return. Now, take a moment and ask yourself, who in this story showed true love, true compassion? Was it the priest, the Levite, or the Samaritan? The Samaritan's actions echo into eternity as more than just a tale. This is a lesson in radical kindness. Compassion isn't about convenience. It isn't about social approval or sticking to our cultural tribe. Compassion is about seeing someone's humanity before seeing anything else. The Samaritan likely faced judgment, ridicule, and perhaps even danger to help a man who might never have helped him in return. But that didn't matter. To the Samaritan, love wasn't confined to shared ethnicity or shared beliefs. It was unconditional, universal, and selfless. This isn't just an ancient story. It challenges us right here, right now. In a world that often divides us by race, religion, status, and ideology, the Samaritan whispers a quiet but undeniable truth. True humanity breaks down any wall standing between us. True compassion means action. Ask yourself this: When was the last time you were a good Samaritan? When did you put someone else's need above your convenience? Was there a time when societal expectations held you back, just like the priest and the Levite? Or was there a moment when love inspired you to act, even at a personal cost? The Samaritan probably never sought acknowledgement for his good deed, and yet his story remains one of the most told and celebrated parables in history. This is the legacy of compassion. It lives on long after the moment it was given. Empathy, courage, and boundless love can change lives. And the best part? They're contagious. When one person steps out in compassion, it inspires others to do the same. So today, let's carry the spirit of the Good Samaritan with us. Let's remember that we are all travelers on the same road, vulnerable, imperfect, and in need of love. Be the Samaritan wherever life takes you. Don't wait for permission to show kindness, and don't measure worth before offering help. Let your actions speak louder than fear, prejudice, or hesitation. Now, everyone watching or listening to this, whether you call yourself a Christian, follow another faith, or don't consider yourself religious, this story holds a mirror to our shared humanity. We all have opportunities to choose kindness, to choose love, even when it's hard. And remember, kindness doesn't have to be monumental to make a difference. It can be as simple as reaching out to someone lonely, offering support to the downtrodden, or speaking a kind word to brighten someone's day. You don't need to wait until you stumble upon a traveler in need. Chances are, many around you are quietly hurting. So let's start now. Be a light in someone's darkness. Be a good Samaritan in your own unique way. And as you do, you'll find that helping others also heals you. With every act of kindness, the world moves one step closer to being the place God intended it to be. A world filled with love, understanding, and mutual care. And that's the story of the Good Samaritan. A lesson on love. One that asks more of us than mere belief. It asks for action, for empathy, and for the courage to see all people as our neighbors. Who will you make your neighbor today? Let this question guide your heart and your hands. Thank you for listening. Until next time, stay compassionate and keep spreading that undeniable, unbreakable love.